It's so much easier to love than to fear. Hey guys, it's John out here in the backyard enjoying a beautiful day under the trees. The deck is too bright and sunny and hot right now, so I thought I'd come out here and talk to you from back here. Love is easier than fear. You know, I do private sessions 5 days a week, 12 hours a day. And in those sessions, I'm dealing with people's fears all day long. People being fearful of their life experience, fearful of their religious backgrounds, their doctrines, their dogmas, fears of their past traumas, fears that the world's going to go to crap, or the things that are happening in the world are going to destroy the world. Fears, 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 fears. I hear people living hard lives. The thing that makes it hard is them choosing to make it hard. And that sounds like I'm blaming the victim or whatever. I'm victim blaming. I'm not. They chose to think that way, so they are having that experience. I choose to think I'm living a joyful, happy life, and I live that experience. I don't judge others for how they live their life. I just try to help them live a joyful, loving life. And the way you do that is to focus on the joyful, loving things that you're creating rather than living in reaction to the rest of the world. People will do fearful things. If we live in reaction to it, we are perpetuating those fearful things. So it comes down to this idea of us stepping into the role of being the one who delivers love into the world. But when I look at those people that I talk to, they're truly struggling. They're truly having a hard time. It's a very difficult life. My life is easy. My life is simple. And the more simple I make it, the more easy it becomes. The more I strip away of the beliefs of anybody else, the doctrines, the dogmas, the rituals, all those things, I stripped them all away. And life becomes simple, becomes easy. I do things I love. I get love in return. I enjoy my life. I hang out with my son. I go to the beach. I hang out in my beautiful backyard. I enjoy my life. It's really easy. But I choose for it to be easy. When you choose love, love is always easier. The experience of your life is always easier. People around you may be struggling. Sometimes, as I've often said in other videos, the most loving thing to do is to be the consequence. And in that moment, it can be hard. But in the end, it's the easiest thing to do to help the other person. My life is easy. I did a session just yesterday where a man was really lost in his fears and anxieties. And the only way he could hear me is if I got loud and strong and powerful, like a parent, scolding a child almost. And I don't mean to ever come across that way, but sometimes it's the only way they hear. It's the only way they hear is to hear someone who will talk down their fears and put their fears in place. But just loving to do it that way because that's the way they need to hear it. In your life, you can live a loving life or you can live a fearful life. If you live in fear, you're going to have breathing difficulties. You live in fear, you're not going to have clear thought. You live in fear, you're going to be messing up relationships for fear that they're going to go wrong. You live in fear, you're going to have ailment because your body's going to suffer because it's trying to hold air in. I don't live in fear. I live in joy. I live in happiness. I live in love. And once again, I say my life is easy. I don't stress. I exhale. I sit in love. I feel that love, and I love that compassion. And as I look at that expression of life, I come to understand that the people who are struggling really need this simplicity. They really need this ability to step into love in their own personal lives and grow into the expression of love so that they can have an easier life. My way's easier. Be love. Now, as you become love, the people who are so invested in you being fearful will start to fall away. The people who are invested in dropping by your house and dumping all their negativity on you because you're right there with them go away. And the first thing they do is they go find somebody else to dump all their negativity on. And the first thing they say is, see what she did to me? See what he did to me? He cut me off. He wouldn't let me dump my junk over there anymore. You become the next thing they complain about. Life is so much easier when you don't succumb to people's negativity. Life is so much easier when you start to recognize that many of the people in your lives are not friends, they're just transactional relationships. They come there to dump their junk or to use you to do something for them rather than a true friendship. I have a friend named Tim. If he called me right now in the middle of this video and said, I need you, that camera would turn off and I would hop in my truck and I would drive 8 hours because he's my friend. My sister needed me, same thing would happen. My brother needed me, same thing would happen. Because that's what you do. It's not about having a transactional relationship with somebody. It's not about using somebody. It's not about any of those things. The easier you live and love, and the more you love, the more your transactional relationships go away, and the more you start having people in your life who would do the same for you. Everything becomes easier. Everything comes more of a flow of life that is beautiful. But it only happens if you choose to be loving instead of fearful. If you choose to exhale and let go of the anxieties of the world, you choose to see the world as a place of beauty being formed around you rather than reacting to fearful things of other people. You can do this. You have all the power. You always have the power. It's the power of choice and belief. Choose it, believe it, act upon it. If you choose it, believe it, and act upon it, your thoughts, words, and deeds, if you do that, your life will become really easy and you'll love it and you'll laugh every day. I said to somebody yesterday, I said, I have 1,500 videos on my channels almost, and I'll bet you almost all of them have a laugh in there somewhere. And the guy said, yeah, you're probably right. There might be some that I was annoyed, but for the most part, I laugh in all of them somewhere. That's because my life is easy. My life is joyful. My life is fun. And I'm not succumbing to the fears and anxieties of other people's fears and anxieties. I'm living my life and not theirs. I'm choosing to live a loving world so that my world can be loving. And the more of us who choose to be loving, the more other people around us will choose to be loving by our example. And you can't save the world, but you can make your part so bright the world chooses to save itself around you. And that's your choice. You can choose to have an easy life of love or a real struggle and hard life of fear. Choice is yours. Now, I am blank. You get to fill in the blank line. And that's my thought on this, guys. You have a great day. And I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.